Hi, my name is Rickley. I read the book Beyond Belief, Finding the Strength to Come Back by Josh Hamilton with the help by Tim Cohn. Josh Hamilton was drafted as the number one pick in the 1999 draft by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, just weeks after his 18th birthday. He signed the highest ever rookie contract at the time of $4 million. He was set up to be a successful young man both on and off the field. After posting 2 great years in the minors, he was about to ready to make his major league debut. That all came crashing down when he got into a car accident, causing him to have severe back pain all the time. No doctor could figure out what was wrong with him. He underwent evaluations for months and no answers were found. Then finally he went to a doctor in Los Angeles, California. The doctor found that the car wreck had forced trauma to one of his vertebrae that had not fully developed. The doctor put a needle in the spot and took out fluid that was causing the pain. He went back to rehab in the major leagues that season, and then more injuries happened, causing him not to be able to play. Josh had a lot of time on his hands and a lot of money, so he decided to go to a place where nobody would judge him. He would go to a tattoo parlor and spend countless hours getting tattoos. Most of the time he didn't even care what they were drawing on him. After going there for several weeks, the guy who did all the work on him asked if he wanted to go to a party with him and his other co-workers. Josh said, what the heck, I have nothing better to do. So they started out at a club, and then they went back to the tattoo artist's home. That was where he was introduced to cocaine. He tried it. He loved the feeling it gave him. He knew he shouldn't do it, but he couldn't stop himself. At first, he started using only every couple of days. Then, he felt it wasn't that bad. He could control himself. He started in the off season. By the time spring training came around, he was out of control. He would have a fix before every practice. He used so much that the inside of his nostrils were coming out, so like fibers and blood in his nose were like pulling out of his nose. Disgusting. Finally, he had to submit to a random urine drug test. Of course, he failed. Josh convinced himself that it must have been a false positive. There was no way that he thought there was no way that he was a drug addict. I don't know how he thought that, but that's what he said. Of course, he was sent to rehab. Josh didn't feel that he had a problem, so that didn't help him. He was in and out of rehab countless times over the year that he was on the team. He was suspended 2 times while on the team and was eventually released by the team as a lost cause. If they would have kept him on the team, he probably would have gotten a 3rd suspension. If that happens, you're banned from professional baseball for life. He moved back after that. He moved back to his hometown in North Carolina, still using cocaine, of course. During this time, he met his wife and they got married. When I read this, I was completely surprised. Why would somebody marry a drug addict? Who knows why she did? She must have saw something in him that was, I don't know. He would be good for days and then go on binges and be gone for days. His wife never knew where he was or if he would ever come back alive. On one of his binges, one time in a bar, he found a guy that introduced him to crack cocaine. It's a substance that can be smoked in a pipe. It is more addictive than cocaine because it's inside your lungs. which which is sent straight to your blood supply, which gets into your brain. This time he was out of control. He was almost out of money. His wife had kicked him out of his house, and he was scrounging for any dollar he could find to get his drugs. One time he even broke into his own home when his wife was away and stole her wedding ring to get drugs. That is what addiction had done to him. He was a mess and nobody thought they could help him. He had no strength. He'd lost about 50 pounds since he started using, and he found himself scared with no place to go. He ended up going to his grandmother's home. She was the only person in the world who hadn't given up on him. He came up on her doorstep at 3 in the morning that night. She cooked him a meal and told him that he could stay there if he would get better. For some reason, he couldn't let her down. Not her. Not grandmother, who had always been there for him. This time, he actually felt that he wanted to quit. Not because he was told to do it, but it was his own choice. His grandmother made him read the Bible and to eat to gain back his strength. He gained nearly 30 pounds in about 2 weeks. Then he felt better after a few months and went back to a rehab center. This time, he felt he could overcome his demons and he wanted to get better. He completed his stay there and learned the different steps of recovering from being an addict. After that, he got a job at a semi-professional baseball team field. There, he could work on his skills to become his former greater self. He was surprised that he could still throw and hit with power. He hadn't touched a baseball or a bat in over 4 years. He got himself strong and fast at that facility. Then in 2006, he was drafted in the Rule 5 draft. He was selected by the Cubs and traded to the Reds. Surprisingly, he was immediately kept on the Major League team. He made his debut on April 2nd, 2006. Or that'd be 2007. He had a solid Major League season that year and was traded to the Texas Rangers in the offseason, where he is now he's been picked to 4 All-Star games and won the 2010 American League MVP. One thing I thought about this story was interesting was that Josh Hamilton was really a good guy. He made a terrible life-altering mistake. He apologized for his mistakes, and as a society we have accepted them and we have moved on. His story is very inspiring to many, especially of those who have a loved one that is an addict or a former addict. Thank you for watching.